The latest coming in as far as Sri Lanka is concerned, where there is a bit of a balancing act that the new president is really trying to do. You have Sri Lanka's new president, who is now in his cabinet, has said, and is yet to in fact discuss removing a temporary one-year ban on Chinese vessels coming into Sri Lankan waters. The ban was imposed by former leader Ranil Wickremesimghe, who was Dissanayake's predecessor. His government in December last year had put that ban. Our Foreign Ministry spokesperson said that the ban was for 2024 and will end on 21st of December this year. The decision to ban research ships was taken following very strong security concerns that were raised by India, citing possible spying by Chinese vessels in the Indian Ocean. Now, after coming to power, Dissanayake allowed a Chinese Navy ship to dock in Colombo last month. All right, now what does this mean in terms of security implications? What does it mean for the Indian Ocean as a region, and what does it mean for India-Sri Lanka relationship? Let's get in Rohan Samarajiva joining me from Sri Lanka to talk more about what this means. He is a policy analyst and chairman of a think tank. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out the time and speaking to me on India Global. Let me start by asking you this, that why is it that the new president is delaying a decision that many seem to now be in agreement with? What is the reason for his delay?
Well, I believe the 12 months should have been used to get a robust long-term policy on several issues. So, for example, what are the rules with regard to ships of various kinds coming in to refuel in our ports? That is one question. What are the rules affecting military vessels coming in? That's another question. And there is this category that we are discussing right now, which is what about scientific research vessels? Now, of course, there will be those who will say these are not scientific research vessels, these are spying vessels. But we have to also understand that Sri Lanka has got a massive exclusive economic zone. It's 517,000 square kilometers. And we have to allow certain kinds of research to be conducted. Now, should they be conducted by Chinese research vessels? Should they be conducted by Canadian research vessels? Should they be conducted by Indian research vessels? Those are the kinds of things that the policy should have addressed. And when the policy is addressing that, the question that came up last year, what is the presence and what are the safeguards that we have in terms of Sri Lankan scientists on board? So these kinds of nuanced aspects should have been worked out in the 12 months that we had. But as everybody knows, we've had elections and various kinds of turmoil. So I'm afraid we don't have a robust, long-term, well-thought-out, well-consulted policy. And if I was in the government shoes, I would say we'll extend it for 6 more months. And during that time, we'll get this in place. But I can't speak for them.
Let's get in a voice from the other side, in fact. Let's get in Mr. Radhakrishnan as well on the broadcast. How do you see this move, or rather a lack of a move by Mr. Dissanayake, raising suspicions in several policy corridors in New Delhi?
See, it's very clear that Sri Lanka today, as in with the JVP, NPP in power, sees China as a friend and India as a reality. They're very, very aware and cognizant of both these facts. They definitely want India on their side. They treat India as a country which they cannot wish away. It's right in their face, and it is the biggest power in South Asia, so to speak. So regardless of what influence China has on Sri Lanka, it understands that reality. At the same time, we have to realize that JVP is exceedingly comfortable with China, has had extensive relationship with the Chinese Communist Party. Its leaders have been up and down to China. And to the extent that you would have noticed news reports of the Chinese ambassador going to the northern province and unveiling a huge bonanza of 1.5 billion rupees of welfare measures and whatnot, which is what usually the Indians do to the Tamils. So that is the extent of the relationship and the depth of the relationship, and to the extent that the Chinese ambassador feels it is okay to go to the northern province, which is largely inhabited by the Tamils, who have traditionally been India's friends, so to
So it is
speak.
China
and that
entering into traditional
also
comfort zones of India, and in the backdrop of some of these policy indications coming in from the present Sri Lankan government, how do you see the next couple of years panning out for this new government? Radhakrishnan, let me ask you this, and then I get a counter from Rohan as well. Yeah.
See, it's very clear that Sri Lanka is right now walking the tightrope, and Anura during his trip, which he will make to Delhi shortly, again he's playing all the cards right. Unlike the Nepal Prime Minister Sharma Oli, he's making India the first port of call, so he has got that right. Beyond that, we'll have to definitely wait and see. Let's remember that we are discussing this on Mahavira Ranal, the Heroes' Day, which is observed in the north. JVP did not have to take a serious stand on it because of the cyclone that is, which has lashed Jaffna and of course southern Tamil Nadu. Because of that, otherwise there would have been a serious issue, and JVP would have been going back on its word of allowing the Tamils to observe Mahavira Ranal. In fact,
Yes.
The public security minister had made it very clear that you cannot observe the death of LTTE fighters, but you can observe or have commemoration of family members killed in the conflict.
Yes.
This is extremely, ridiculous to say that, because family members died either on the side of LTTE or from fire from the Sri Lankan forces. If we can't celebrate either, then it becomes an issue. But thankfully for the JVP, it was saved the embarrassment, or it was not forced to take a stand today because of
Yes.
the kind of weather that has prevailed there. So luck has helped the JVP as of now. But we don't see any movement in the political solution. And I don't think Delhi is particularly interested in pushing that narrative either of a political solution. So I think there is both sides are standing down, and there could be a via media when Anura meets the Indian leadership in Delhi later in December.
Absolutely, all eyes on that very important visit. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for taking out the time speaking to me on India Global.